Hey Babus, this is Chatty from Cheers Chatty, and a very happy day to all of you. We've got a very special guest today. Her name is Yoginee Budhkar, and she's from Cerana Meads. This is a very special episode because we've never covered meads, and there's a whole lot of stuff that we are going to learn about meads, what are meads, and where it all started and where it's going. Hi Yoginee, how are you?
Hi Chatty, thank you for having me. I'm doing very well.
And so Yoginee, we have a couple of things to ask you. A lot of people do not know what is mead to begin with. Forget about consuming it or knowing what goes into it. What is the recipe? How is it different from beer or wine or any other alcoholic beverage? So my first question is, what is mead? Okay, what interests you the most about it, and where did it all start?
Mead is basically an alcoholic beverage that's made by fermenting honey as a primary ingredient. You can add fruits or spices to it, and based on what ingredients it has, it can be of different types. Just how you have different types of beers. You have Colchester stouts, ales, whatever. So mead also can be of different types. But the thing to remember about meads is the primary ingredient that it has is honey. Another way you can distinguish mead from all the other alcoholic beverages that are made by fermentation is basically how you ferment grapes or fruits to make wine, or how you ferment malts to get beer. You ferment honey to get mead. So that is how it differs from beer and wine.
So honey is the most important and integral ingredient in mead.
Yes. And because you can combine it with fruits and spices and even malts in some cases, it is a very versatile drink. It can be as close to wine as it can get. For example, what we are having right now is a Chenin Blanc Piment that we have made.
It's awesome actually. Very smooth.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. So it's made by fermenting grapes and honey together. It's a multifloral honey that has gone into it, and Chenin Blanc grapes that were grown very, very locally. Our meadery is situated in Sinnar.
So meads are not bitter, is it? Are they a sweet-based drink, or what is it?
Yeah, we have a list of FAQs actually, because it's the most common question that we get. It is made from honey, so it must be sweet. But the point to understand here is, in an alcoholic fermentation, the sugars are fermented out. So not necessarily the mead is sweet. We can make it sweet by adding honey to it or arresting the fermentation halfway through. But they can range from very, very dry to off dry to sweet based on the recipe that we are talking about. Most of our meads are very dry. We ferment the sugars out completely because that's how we like it. And we also feel that they become more palatable that way.
I also want to ask you, you earlier mentioned saying that malt is also added in meads. So that's something we see a lot in beer. So does that mean the texture, the color and of mead changes when you add malt? Does it look a lot more like beer then?
Yes, it does. As I said, it's a very versatile drink. When you make a beer with honey or a mead with malts, whichever way you look at it, it becomes a particular category of mead called braggot. Yes. And the braggot oftentimes will look and taste similar to a beer, but it will have a predominant honey aroma.
And tell me, how did you get interested in this entirely? Because it's pretty unconventional. Now, when you look at alcohol, you normally see people either being interested in mainstream spirits or in beer, but mead is still pretty much emerging in India, and not many people, correct me if I'm wrong, are that aware of it.
At this moment, yes, it's true, but mead is probably the oldest alcoholic beverage, and you do find mentions of mead even in ancient Indian texts. In Rig Veda, mead is mentioned as a libation given to Indra. And I do have that, shloka is somewhere. I obviously can't recite it. It's really Sanskrit.
Yeah, but it is very. It's interesting to know that mead is in our history, because everyone assumes that where did it come from. First of all, they don't know where it came from.
It's there not only in our history. It's there in history of all the cultures around the world. And including like Africa, Orient, China, India, Europe. Vikings,
Yeah, absolutely.
all across the world, mead was present because honey was a natural source of sugar that was present.
Yeah.
For wines and beers, a lot of processing has to happen. You need to juice the fruits and then you need to mash the grains in case of beer. But honey is a very natural source of sugar that is present. So all that needs to be done for it to convert into mead is just dilute it with water, and natural yeasts are going to ferment it.
And also it's different in terms of brewing, or what do you call making mead is you don't need to boil it and make a wort of it and stuff. It can just be made with room temperature water is what
you dilute the honey suitably based on what is the end result that you want. And that's pretty much it.
So it's a very simple recipe.
It's a simpler process as compared to brewing beer.
Okay.
A little more complicated than making a wine because in wine you're just juicing the grapes, adding yeast to it. So it's midway between wine and beer, you can say.
And your interest to mead, when was the first time that you tasted mead, and what was the experience with it?
That remained to be answered before.
Yeah.
So my partner Ashwini, who co-founded Cerana Meads with me, we were doing our doctorates together. And a professor from the UK came seeking collaboration with my PI.
Okay.
And he was the one who told me about meads first.
Okay.
He told me to try a heather flower mead that is made in Scotland, Edinburgh. And I was going to travel there at the time. And I asked him what mead is. He told me that mead is an alcoholic beverage that's made by fermenting honey. And each and every word in that sentence sort of made me super interested in what it is, because it's alcohol, yes, beverage, yes, honey, yes, fermentation, yes, obviously.
That's how would you?
So honeybees and honey have always been of interest to me.
Okay.
Alcoholic beverages even more so.
Why not?
And something that can be made alcoholic by adding something that is already
there.
Me.
Why not? You couldn't ask for more, actually.
Couldn't ask for more. So then unfortunately, I could not taste any mead when I was in Edinburgh. So I came back and I decided to brew my own batch, which was very, very rudimental sort of because I used an off-the-shelf honey from some retail store, and I used baker's yeast.
But that's how all starts. No?
Yes. At the time, I did not know that. Okay. So I was thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? But being
garage mead making.
More like. So that's how I made my first batch of mead, and it turned out pretty well. It encouraged me to get more into the actual proper mead making part of it, because the science I always had, because I was doing research anyway. I know how to set up an experiment, and that comes with the background.
When did it become a profession from something that you like to drink?
Couple of batches down the line, as I was ending my PhD work, so many of my friends told me that the stuff that you're making is good and you should totally do it commercially.
Okay.
And I was thinking that I want to get away from hardcore research at the time.
Okay.
So things just happened.
It's a perfect career option.
Things just happened for me, and I just one day I decided to do it. I told my family about it. They were all supportive. So
in fact, that's something that I wanted to ask you, and it's very nice that when I speak to a lot of women in the beer, alcohol, spirits industry and ask them how do their parents receive it and how supportive they are, it's amazing that all of them get a lot of support from their parents. There's never any cloud of doubt which says that no, you're a girl, you can't get into it and stuff like that. So that's very encouraging.
It is. I think we have at least a substantial part of society has crossed that barrier, and I'm glad that
you're part of that.
I'm glad to have parents who are, and a husband who are supportive, and not just that they don't have a problem with it, but they're very proud of it.
Very proud of it.
So it's not just a passive kind of support, it's a very active support that I get.
So on that note, let's meet to it with one swig.
Yes, cheers.
So how did Cerana all come up? What is the story about building that up and growing it?
So as I said, a lot of encouragement from a lot of people around made me decide that I want to take this up commercially. And I immediately started telling few of my close friends that I was about to, get into this. One of whom was Ashwini.
Okay.
She was doing her postdoctorate fellowship in Canada, Toronto at the time.
Okay.
And I called her to tell her that this is what I'm thinking of doing. And she said that, you know what, I anyway don't want to continue staying here for my further research. I want to come back, and why don't we, come together? And well, as they say, Sone pe suhaga or something. I told her
everything just fell into place.
I told her to wrap her work up immediately and come back, and we started work here.
So which year was this?
This was in 2014, second half.
Okay.
She came back, I think, around September-ish, and we came up with a very extensive R&D plan to start understanding the honey that we get in India, how it combines with different flavors in terms of fruits or spices, and that is where it all started.
So you do. So how old is Cerana now?
As a company, we are about 4 years old.
4 years
old. As
a
brand, we are about a year old.
Okay. No, there's always a growth process that one goes through. And do you, both of you all design the recipes, or who does what in this thing?
So there are some recipes that Ashwini herself did, there are some that I myself did, and some are combined effort.
Okay.
For example, we are going to try the Jamun Melomel later.
Yes.
And I have a fantastic story to share about that.
Okay.
The Chenin one is something that I did with help from a winemaker in Nashik. So you can more or less say that it's something that I created. But the Jamun one, which is my more favorite than this one.
I'm waiting to hear that story.
Oh yeah. So after Ashwini came back from Canada, she was pregnant with her son.
Okay.
And she was not able to work for some time because of her
pregnancy.
A new mom.
Yeah.
No, she worked at the end.
Okay. Post-delivery is what she couldn't
have. Yes, post-delivery, when there was whole other person to take care of, she couldn't work, and she kept on feeling guilty about it.
Okay.
Which was
That's quite understandable.
Which was not necessary, but yeah, that's how she is. She's a very hardworking gal. And as sorry for not working and thank you for not working and me working. She decided to do a special batch for me, which was Jamun honey with
fantastic,
Jamun. And she made this mead which was so awesome. I took the first sip and the first whiff of it, and I'm like, Ashwini, this has to be our final mead. This has to be commercially made.
This is your showstopper mead.
Oh, totally. It has always been my favorite.
So she gave birth to a child, and she gave birth to mead, a variant of mead.
Yes, a very good recipe of mead. I'm just so proud of her.
So all listeners who are listening to this, please go ahead to Cerana and insist on the Jamun mead.
That said, if you like jamun as a fruit, you're going to love that mead. Some people just don't like jamun. It's probably not.
No, we love it.
Good.
And anything which has got alcohol in it, it's even more better.
Yeah, true. So we're talking about meads if they can be bitter.
Yeah.
Based on the ingredients that are there. They
yeah.
can be sweet to bitter to sour to anything. Very versatile.
Okay. And so Cerana now has how many variants or styles? You call them variants, or you guys call them styles? What do you refer to them?
They're not different styles because most of them are fruit meads or melomels. So we call them variants.
Okay, variants.
So we are coming out with 3 variants right now.
Okay.
One of them is Chenin Blanc Piment.
Yeah.
Different types of meads, and they're just going to sound like words, but I'm going to tell you what they are.
Please do. Yeah.
If a mead has honey and fruit together in it, it's called a melomel. And then there are different types of melomels.
Okay.
One of them is a piment.
Okay.
Piment.
Okay.
A piment is a melomel that's made with grapes.
Okay.
So because this particular drink that we are enjoying right now has honey and grapes fermented together.
Okay.
This is a piment. And the grapes are Chenin Blanc.
Chenin Blanc,
so, this one is called Chenin Blanc Piment. We did not want to come up with fancy names. We wanted people to be able to relate to it immediately.
And adopt to it as easily as possible than looking at it, feeling intimidated by it. Yeah.
Rather than intimidated, you read a fancy name and you don't know what's going on in the drink.
Yeah, and you sometimes think this is not for me. Pata nahi hai main kya pee raha hu, am I even going to be comfortable with it?
A Chenin Blanc Piment is called a Chenin Blanc Piment, and the Jamun Melomel is called a Jamun Melomel. And the third variant is a Pomegranate Melomel, again Ashwini's creation. She's very good like that with flavors and all that. So that is.
She's very good at giving birth, I must say.
She is. She's a go-getter. So
Ashwini, we miss you.
Totally. I wish she was here today, but she is working in Nashik, and we are enjoying meads here.
And that's okay, all for a good cause.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, what's next for Cerana? I mean, like, where do you guys sell it? How do you all sell it? Do you all have your own outlet or your tap room, or how does it operate? If I need to go and pick up one Cerana mead, where do I go?
As of now, nowhere, unfortunately.
Okay.
By the end of this month or mid next month, we are going to start distributing to various outlets across Mumbai and Pune and Nashik.
That would be retail outlets?
Retail, yeah.
So if I go to a wine store and ask for a Cerana mead, I would get that?
You will most likely get it. We are going to keep updating where all we are available on our social. So you can find it there.
Okay.
If you want to grab a pint.
Okay. If I don't get one, I'm going to come and grab it from you. That's all.
Totally. You're welcome to visit the meadery, by the way.
I'm planning to do that as well. Okay. So this is by the end of the month. This is going to start.
Yes. End of this month or start of next month.
And what are future plans?
Future plans are to expand the distribution to other states as well, more cities in Maharashtra, and really make it a habit. The goal is to make it a habit for people to order a pint of mead.
Like they would order any other drink.
Yes, exactly.
Any other alcoholic drink.
Exactly. The goal is when we go and do an event, people don't, come
ask
and ask us
what mead is.
But rather, you have mead, what all variants do you have? What all levels are you serving any levels? So those are the questions that we would really like to answer.
But from the time you started to now, do you feel that there has been a lot of awareness? People are far more educated when it comes to mead?
There are several reasons why that has happened. One of them is Game of Thrones.
Of course.
A little bit of Harry Potter has also done the work, but the crowd that goes and watches Harry Potter is youngsters.
Kids, and they are not allowed to touch it.
They don't know what...
Sorry kids, not for you.
Another thing is the meadery that started before us, Moonshine. They have done a great work in educating the population about...
Are they the first ones to start the meadery in India?
They are the first meadery in India and I think also Asia for that matter.
Okay, I've tried 2 of their variants and they're really good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and I'm trying yours. This is also fantastic.
Great. I like it when people like mead.
It is good, See, normally one doesn't know what it is, where does it fit into, the entire ecosystem of alcohol. But yes, it has, like every alcohol or anything in this world has its own place. Mead also has it. And it is making its place actually.
That's true.
So, but did you ever think that you're going to be in the alcohol industry when you were doing your PhD? Or it just happened? And you're glad it happened?
I'm very glad that it happened. I did not always know that I was going to be in this, but to that extent, I would like to share something interesting.
Please.
I was just cleaning my old cupboard the other day, like several years back, and I found a notebook from my BSc days in which I had made a business plan to make industrial alcohol using different plant sources. So alcohol fermentation probably was somewhere always on my mind. But instead of industrial, I'm doing something that can be enjoyed.
Absolutely. And see, it looks like it's been always part of your inner DNA, you were meant for the mead. And
little hedonism never hurt anyone.
Exactly, never does. And see,
that's what makes us humans.
Totally, and you're giving humans a lot of pleasure as well. Any funny stories that have happened, Yoginee, when you've made it, or something went bad or something in terms of, does any batch get contaminated or goes bad in terms of taste? Does that happen with mead?
It used to happen initially when we were also a little new to mead making.
Okay.
Now that we are doing it commercially, it hardly ever happens. And it better not happen.
It better not happen. Yeah.
I don't have any story to share right now.
But sometimes no news is good news.
On that front, I really don't have a story. And if I had a story, I don't think it would be a funny one. Batch going bad is never a funny story. But
certain innovations also happen by accident. You've done something, you put something more, less, whatever, and then you realize, अरे यार ये तो बहुत अच्छा बन गया type.
I'm going to take you back to the Jamun Melomel story.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Because that is the one that was just I don't think Ash also realized that she was, doing something that was...
Okay, guys, I'm going to finish off this podcast really soon because I want to go and have the jamun meat. Okay, but having said that, we are continuing for some time. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ash, the jamun malamal story is the most interesting one so far that we have.
Okay. see, that's paid off also. Huh?
Yes, it has, definitely. And Okay, can I talk about some collaborations that we have done? Is it okay?
Yeah, of course you can.
So I talked about braggot as a style.
Yeah.
And we have done a collaboration with Bombay Duck Brewing.
Yeah.
And we made a braggot that was a Christmas special.
Okay.
It is still available at some of the outlets. I'm going to have to check which ones they are. We will post it on our social. But it has been going really well. It's a dark, more like stouty variety of beer.
That's something I would like
roasted,
to
a lot of roasted barley and so you
that's
have to try it. But then it completely matures into a different kind of product because of honey.
Okay, obviously.
So it is not very heavy on the mouth. Honey dilutes it out a little. Very easy drinking sort of a dark beer, which is, I think, a little rare to find.
Yeah.
Then they have named it.
Where will I find it?
I'm gonna have to check on that.
Yeah, please do, because I always say, and in every podcast also I say that I always say this, but I'm going to say this again, that I'm a big fan of stout.
Okay.
I love anything that's very stouty and roasted and coffee and stuff. So if this is going to be somewhere on those lines, then I'm definitely game for it.
So my knowledge about beer styles is not very great. Let me just put it out there.
No, that's fine. You're a mead person, yeah. You mean mead, so you should be sticking to So the way I'm going to start. Okay, what advice do you have for women who want to enter the mead industry, who want to pursue mead as a profession?
My advice to women who want to get into this field is don't think that you should be at any advantage or disadvantage due to your gender.
Okay.
Being a woman does not give you any privileges automatically.
Yeah.
At the same time, you make sure that your voice is heard.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't matter. What your gender is.
And actually it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to others. It shouldn't matter to you.
And don't try and play the woman card, or I'm not saying anyone does that, but I'm saying that this is a very inclusive and equal industry.
Absolutely. One of the most gender neutral industries I think there is, because the common underlying love is for the product
and actually alcohol brings people together.
True.
And that
agree 100%.
Totally. सब किसी का भाई हो जाता है, तो मेरा यार है, सब कुछ हो जाता है, जायदाद भी दे देते हैं, सब कुछ हो जाता है. But on a very positive note and serious note, it does bind people. Yeah.
It does. And it doesn't like, I have never been treated differently for being a woman in this industry. I've never faced any issues because I am a woman in this industry.
Yeah.
Not industry related problems because I'm a woman.
No, that's different. What happens at your workplace happens in in terms of your everyday functioning or whatever. But that has got nothing to do with gender or your choice of profession.
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Doesn't play a role in my work.
Doesn't play. Okay, Babos, we are at the final section of our podcast, and we have two questions for Yoginee. One is, what is the best part of your profession? What do you like the most of it?
The best part is knowing that we make meads, which are made from honey.
Okay.
And we wholeheartedly support beekeeping as a profession. It's the most noble profession.
Okay.
Honeybees are an important part of any land-based ecosystem on the planet.
Okay.
They are not only pollinators, but they also create an absolutely value-added product, honey, from an otherwise wasted resource, which is flowers. In terms of its medicinal properties, everyone knows about honey.
Yeah.
But as a food ingredient, it is highly underappreciated.
Okay.
We provide a way to process honey and bring to the forefront its organoleptic properties, its complex aroma, layered flavors and taste without the sugar part of it. I think it is great to tell people about this beverage that got lost in time through the history, see their reaction, and the best feeling is when they taste meats, like them, and come back for more.
Fantastic. And obviously you're doing something very noble for, something that's the bees and the beekeepers. So we totally appreciate that, and we also keep looking out for your meads as well, like the 2 ones that we tried right now. And I can't wait for the next time when I'm going to get my batch from you or pick it up from the retail outlet. So last words, anything that you have, Yoginee, that you want to share with us?
I hope you all enjoyed listening to this podcast, and I hope that you go
completely, totally, genuinely, as pure as the mead.
Lovely. And I hope that you try our meads and like them and come back for more. Cerana Meads, remember the name.
Absolutely, we will do that. And thank you, Yoginee, for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. And okay, Babus, we are signing off today, and this is it. And please look out for more podcasts from Cheers Chatty. Till then, take care.
Take care, you all.
And be good.